June 5th, 2024. A gray and windy day. I take a trip out to the family farm to take one last look at the old farmhouse. Tomorrow it's getting torn down. No one's lived there since 2003. A hailstorm a few years back destroyed the roof. I've spent the last few months salvaging everything I could from the interior, and it's a depressing, empty shell of its former self. But it wasn't always this way. This house was home to the Knaak family for over 100 years. They were born here, lived their lives here, and died here, on this farm, south of the town of Stuart, Minnesota. The front part of the house dates back to the 1890s at least, and in the early 1900s the large square portion was built. Built with lumber purchased from here, the Interior Lumber Company of Stuart, Minnesota. Many people lived here throughout the years, but I'm going to focus on the one I remember, Grandma Dora. Dora Borman, born on May 10th, 1914 in Otter Tail, Minnesota, one of 15 siblings. Her sister Pauline married Bill Knaak, which is how she met his brother, Otto Knaak. They were married on August 22, 1934, making their home in the Knaak family farmhouse. Children followed: Laverna, born in 1935, Otto, born in 1938, and the twins, Alvin and Elroy, born in 1943. Then in 1945, tragedy. A drunk driver hits their car head-on. Her husband Otto and his sister Bertha are killed. Daughter Laverna suffers a gash above her eye. Otto Jr. a broken arm, and Elroy a broken leg. Alvin is the only one who escapes unhurt. Dora suffers a fractured skull and is hospitalized for a month. She isn't even able to attend her husband's funeral. At age 31, she was a widow with 4 kids. She never remarried, never even dated again. She focused on her children and her farm. Her brothers and hired hands helped with the farm work until her sons were old enough to take over. She continued to help with milking until her sons quit milking cows in 1994. Dora loved her family, she loved farming, she loved canning and cooking, she loved sewing, and she loved her garden. She'd put a pumpkin from her garden on top of the cistern every year on Halloween for the grandkids to decorate. Dora passed away on December 21st, 2003. And now, I'd like to give you a brief tour of Grandma Dora's house. This was the entryway and the laundry room. Grandma always used wringer washing machines, and she'd have the whole room decked out with her wringer washing machine and the wash tubs. It was fun watching clothes go through the wringer and see all the water get squeezed out. On your left was the kitchen, and a sure sign of any farmhouse kitchen was the separate sink that you'd use for cleaning up after doing your chores or farm work. I think Grandma's favorite spot in that house was sitting in front of that window. That's where I'd see her sewing and eating, listening to the radio, or just looking outside and seeing what was going on. The cupboards were put in 1954 when her daughter Laverna graduated. She figured if she was having all these people coming over, she might as well have new cupboards. The living room / dining room. And later, the TV room. But Grandma Dora wouldn't get a TV till all the kids had graduated, because she knew that they'd spend all their time in front of it and wouldn't get anything done. The room also had a built-in china hutch. There's still old Cracker Jack stickers from the 1950s stuck to the glass. The south porch. It used to be open, but after it was enclosed, that's where they'd store all the eggs before they'd take them to town to the produce. One time, Dora's brother Walter was listening to the Lone Ranger on the radio in the next room. He was supposed to be watching the twins, Elvin and Elroy. But while he was busy listening to the Lone Ranger, they were busy in the porch breaking all the eggs that were supposed to go to the produce. The parlor with its great big stained glass window, probably my favorite room in the house. Probably the most unused room in the house, just like every parlor in every farmhouse. Back in the early days, wakes were held here for departed family members. Later on, this room served a different purpose as the twins purchased a pool table for it. Grandma Dora's bedroom. The safe for the farm was hidden in the closet in her room. The original pantry. And after the kitchen got remodeled in the 50s, it became the parts storage room for the farm. Upstairs, there were 3 bedrooms. Before this room was a bedroom, this is where they used to store the seed over winter to plant for next year. This room used to be twice as big, but when the farmhouse finally got indoor plumbing, they divided it in half, and the other half became the bathroom. The old attic from the original part of the house, located above the kitchen. The big attic, with long-forgotten relatives still inhabiting it. And the stone-walled basement, complete with canning jars waiting for their next use. A beautiful farmhouse with many memories. If only walls could talk. I'm gonna miss it terribly.